Hi, it's Astrologer Penny Dix, and welcome to my live stream for a big week ahead and the look at all the astrological energies for the week starting the 11th of February, which is today, and finishing on the 17th of February. And my God, have we got a week. You better sit back, hold on to your hats or anything else, and, well, I don't know, maybe grab a bag of popcorn and watch the ride, or just throw yourselves into it, because this is a week like no other week, because we've not had some of the astrological energies that are happening this week have not happened ever, like for hundreds of years. So the fact that, for instance, we have Mars, our planet of action, energy, assertion, the god of war, also the god of sexuality, conjunct Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius. I don't know when that last happened, but certainly in nobody's lifetime, and certainly not in the last 200-300 years. So it's big energy this week. So you need to pay attention. Maybe you want to grab something to make notes on, or come back and watch this afterwards and go through and write down any key points that you think might be applicable to you. Remember that what stays with you from today's discussion is what is meant to stay with you. And I have got a lot to say. So much has been happening. And I don't even know where to begin. But first of all, let's just have a think about where we are today, because one of the things I want to talk about today, I want to ask you some questions. First of all, I'm not going to watch the live chat too much because it is distracting. And I know that you would very much like me to get the information out, but I've just seen one or two. I did see at the beginning that Andy Walsh mentioned a dream about poisonous waters. Is that right, Andy? Because that is really very interesting, because the moon today is in Pisces. Pisces is about water. And also Saturn in Pisces is about putting restrictions, boundaries into watery things, emotional things. And also Neptune in Pisces, which is still there towards the end degrees of Pisces, can represent poisons and things that are not so pure in the water. I wonder, Andy, if, right, you're saying it was yet black poisonous water. Oh, is this an oil spillage? Is this an oil leak? Because I'm just thinking about some of the energy, and I'm just looking through my notes, and I don't know, there could be something around Mars conjunct Pluto, which is actually on Wednesday, which as we know is Valentine's night. But I'm going to come to that in a minute. But, you know, Pluto in Aquarius is about big things. It's enormous happenings. It's big events. And the planet that rules Aquarius is Uranus. And I'm just having a quick look to see what it's doing right now at this moment. And Okay, so Uranus in Taurus, which can bring about shocks and the unexpected and anything of that nature, is well, it's sextiling the moon in Pisces. Um, mm, it's not really well. Oh, okay, yes. So it is making one or two aspects that could mean something might occur, especially with this Mars energy, which is at this moment still in Capricorn, that could bring about some kind of, maybe it's some kind of disaster at sea. That could be something of what is going on, because I'm just noticing that Uranus is making an aspect to Ceres, who can bring endings, calamitous endings, and I just wonder if it's something like that. So, Jem, I've been waiting for you because I will have a quote for the day for you for the week. So, I think your dream might be interesting, and maybe we actually, as you're more based on the West Coast, maybe we have to look to the Pacific as the part of the world where there could be some kind of event. Also, I think it would be interesting to see what happens with things like volcanic activity, because this could also be something that causes lava to flow into the sea, that causes poisonous gases to go to the sea. So, you know, who knows? Let me go back to my script before I go down a rabbit hole that I think, how did I get down this one? Because I can't get out of it. So let me go back to my script, because I always make notes. I always have a script. Now, I was talking to a friend today, and this friend of mine, who is a hypnotherapist and a very good one at that, and I can highly recommend her. Her name is Sarah Sands Smith, and if you want contacts for a very good hypnotherapist who specializes in anything from past life regression to business astrology, business hypnotherapy, getting over blocks, procrastination, anything like that, then this is your lady. Anyway, we were talking about joy, Joy. Interestingly, the island that I live on, Gozo, in its kind of original language, which is Audesh, it's also known as Joya, means joy. So I live on the island of joy. And this got both my friend and I thinking about, where is joy in your life? Do you feel in a state of joy most of the time, or is joy something that is elusive? And, you know, lack of joy means our frequency and our energy levels drop down. And then we're not able to connect with the higher frequencies that enable us to elevate our energies to that higher level of positivity, of co-creation with the cosmos and each other, to bring about the best that we could possibly have for the planet. Yes, the island of joy. I live on the island of joy. And, you know, this discussion I had with my friend made me think a lot about where is joy in my life? And I'm not going to talk about where joy is or isn't, because in my life, because I want you to think about what in your life makes you joyful. What do you do that makes you joyful? How do you experience joy? Because if we don't keep our energetic frequency on a high level, with everything that is happening on the planet, and, I'm not even going to go to those depths of depravity, if you like, of the awfulness of what is happening in so many parts of the planet. But, maybe if we all elevate our energies up into a frequency of joy, happiness, positivity. Yes, I know it's like the woo woo la la kind of age of where, we just have to think, hey, positive thoughts. It's not that. We know scientifically, collective positive thinking, let's put it that way, collective positive joy has an effect. You've all heard about attention goes where energy flows. If our energy, we are made of energy, if our energy is flowing towards the positive, towards the best possible outcome of any situations in our lives that are difficult, challenging, negative, if the planet, if the collective on the planet could somehow elevate their energies to a level where they can see that if they just climb out of this, oh gosh, this pit of despair and of despondency and of everything is lost. I'm thinking about, I'll remind you all that Pam Gregory does her lovely meditation every Sunday night in Europe, and it's actually at 7 o'clock GMT, that's 8 o'clock Central European time. Work it backwards for your part of the planet. But, it's for 15 minutes. And bless her, I think, the more of us that join in this collective 15 minutes of positivity towards healing, light, love, all these kind of crass things that we think, oh God, here we go. But you know what? They work. The thing is, and the problem is that has happened in the past, is that they haven't had the bedrock, the grounding of people's, the collective's social and self-development to support it. I have had this week some amazing clients, not some, all of them were amazing. And we learned so much from each other. And, they were all on this higher frequency. And there was no sense of what you've probably heard, spiritual bypassing or imposter syndrome or any of those kind of colloquialisms that we all have. So, yes, you were asking me about the hypnotherapist I mentioned. Her name is Sarah Sands-Smith. When this is finished, I will write her name in the contacts. Her website isn't actually up and running yet because she's redoing it. So, but I can direct you in the right direction. So don't worry about that. And just let me do that because I'm chopping off the top of my head, and we do not need heads being chopped off tonight, or maybe we do. So, have any of you thought about joy and where it is in your life and how you can convey joy? No, that's okay, Gay. It's no problem at all. So listen, apart from joy and whether we have it in our lives or not, I think it is one of those kind of qualities that we need to make sure is in all parts of our life, whether it's our home life, whether it's our relationships, whether it's our social life, and in the workplace. If we are not enjoying what we are doing, then why are we doing it? I love what I'm doing, and I think you know that. You picked that up from me. And that's why I do it. It's my passion. Now, at this point, I want to give a shout out to Andy Walsh's wonderful son, Torin Walsh, because, and I'm going to try and show you a picture that he has drawn of me. And hi, Torin, if you're watching with your mum, hiya, how are you? And I love the picture. I absolutely love it. I'm now going to try and show it. I've had permission from your mum. We had a little private chat a little bit earlier, and just to put anyone else's mind at ease, I've all fully sanctioned it with Andy that I can show this picture that Torin painted of me, and I'm thrilled to bits. Before I show it to you, I want to say, because I don't have children, and this is not designed to make you feel sorry for me, and because I don't have brothers and sisters, so I don't have nieces and nephews, I do have cousins, but only one of them had a child. No, that's not quite true. One of them had a child who is close to me, but my other cousin, I never really saw her children. So I've never had, ever, a picture of me painted by a young person. And I cannot tell you how thrilled to bits I am. Now, I don't know how well this is going to show up, but I'm going to do my best, and I've got to make sure the lights aren't in the way. But this is Torin and his son, and look at that wonderful smile. What a lovely young person. And look at this amazing picture of me. And my God, he's even got the planets in there, and the stars, and the sun. I mean, I'm absolutely thrilled to bits. And Torin, you have made me very, very happy. You have filled me with joy, Torin. And that's the truth. So I just wanted to, oh, I think that's lovely. And yes, it's like me in cartoon form, isn't it? So back to my script, because we are here to do the week ahead. But and just to make sure everyone knows that I did actually check out with Andy first if I could show that picture, because we do have to be careful. And so, right, Jim, here is the quote for the week. Never forget about joy. Always be in joy. always embrace joy and make sure it's in your life, and never doubt that the divine has your back and your best interests at heart. Because she does, you know. So this week we've just had, for me, went, whew. This is because all the planets are direct. We've also had solar flares and this kind of solar activity. So some of us might have been experiencing power outages, technical difficulties, technical slowdowns, technical glitches. Hopefully this live stream is happening easily without any problems. What I did do is I was given this tip by Julie Poole, the lovely lady I did that interview with, is that to close all the windows on everything I've got open before I do a live stream. And that way the Wi-Fi is just directed towards this. And so I always do that now before I do a session with a client. So I make sure everything on all my devices is closed down so that the only thing that is open is Skype. And remember, if you do want to start booking with me from June, you better hurry up and get in, because these places are limited and they will fill up quickly. And that is when I'm going to be back at work. Because as you know, I'm taking most of March, April and May will be my recovery, surgery, recovery, recuperation. And so, Poonam, solar flares. Yeah, technical issues, Poonam. Totally, I'm afraid, my love. So remember, pennydix.com. Go to the website. And I just want to, while I'm talking about things like this, I want to make you or alert you to the fact I'm doing this series of videos and blogs about the outer planets. So Pluto, as you know, is already up on my channel. That went up in January, and there's a blog accompanying it on the website. Do check in and read that, because it'll give you a little bit more direction and understanding, and the area of your chart where you can expect this energy to be playing out. The next one that is going up, I think it's next Sunday, so a week today, so it will have gone up at midnight of Sunday next, is Uranus. And there will be a blog, or there is a blog, which is, I'm not sure if it's live yet, but that's going up on the website too. So read that. And I love that, Jem. Never forget about joy. No, never forget about joy. So today, Sunday, I don't know how your day's been, but I have been having a lot of communication today. It's been talk, 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 until I'm all talked out. All good stuff, everything joyful, nothing negative, but the moon is in Pisces, it's waxing crescent, and I'm just looking at the energies, and the moon is just seeing, well, the sun, of course, is in Aquarius still, so it's at 22 degrees. Saturn, remember, is direct in Pisces, and there are no particular specific aspects today, not from the moon. I'm just looking. There are no particular significant aspects today. Uranus is trining Venus. That's okay. That can be quite good for relationships today and bring in some even interesting surprises and energies like that. Oh, I know what I wanted to say to you. Remember, I hope you all celebrated yesterday the Chinese New Year, the year of the wood dragon, because that is actually why I am wearing, oops, that's gone all down the wrong way, wearing green because the wood dragon's color is green and it indicates or represents growth, new things, everything like that. But I've also got my red nails to bring in the energy of the good luck and the abundance that red as a color is symbolic of in Chinese mythology and astrology. I've got my bracelet on that has red dingle dangles on it. I thought I'll do that. And I put the red, I think these are, I don't know what they are, I think they're garnets or something, red ring on so that I'm bringing in the energies of the Chinese New Year. And so, you know, you can check out, as you know, online what or how or what your year of the whatever you are, what sign you are. I'm a goat. I'm a wood goat. And I quickly looked up last night online to see how the year of the wood goat was going to unfold. And it's quite good. So I thought, yeah, well, I'll have that. I'll go with that. I'll take that. I thought, thank you very much. So let's see how we kick off the start of the week, because tomorrow the moon is still in Pisces, it's waxing crescent, and it moves into Aries by the end of the day. So we are back at the beginning of the zodiac, which I think is quite interesting because it's like the energy is building up towards what is going to be a full moon in Virgo in a couple of weeks' time. Oh, we've got a wood tiger. Oh, Andy, you're a goat as well. You'll have to look up and see what element you are. So what else? It's I get carried away. I mustn't look at the chat. Mustn't look at the chat. Oh, thank you. Green suits me. Thank you. It was, do you know, it was my school uniform colour. I went to a school called St Christopher's when I was like between 4 and 12, and the school uniform was green, and I didn't wear green for years because it reminded me of my school uniform. And I don't know about anyone else. I hated school. I absolutely loathed it with a passion. They didn't teach me anything that was interesting. I've only learned all the interesting stuff after I left school. And they weren't interested in me because I didn't play sport. And it seemed to me when I was growing up that unless you played sport, you weren't important. And so, you know, I just kind of like, and Ravina, your daughter's a goat. Okay, wonderful. So we're getting into the energy of the Chinese New Year. So happy Chinese New Year. And I think the wood dragon sounds wonderful. It sounds exciting, cleansing, and just full of hope, because green is about growth. Wood is about growth. So let's see this as a positive lunar new year of growth for all of us and all the planet. But for the planet to have that growth, we all have to work very hard to raise our energetic frequencies, to elevate the ones that are getting caught up in the kind of the brambles down beneath that trap them against getting into higher frequencies. So hi, Mykonos, you called alive. Yay! So did I. At least I'm here. That's lucky. So yes, Vishka, we have to work together. We really do. I caught Steve Judd, the wonderful British astrologer Steve Judd, yesterday or today. I can't remember when it was. And he was talking about this week, and he was saying, you know, the same thing, that we have to have this, you know, if nothing else, let's have this collective decision to be positive, to send out good feeling, good energy, to the planet to say, hey, we can get through all the challenges that we've got and we can change it for the better, and we can get to those, points that where everything is just so much better and so much happier. And yes, green is a lucky color, and this year. So let's move on, because Tuesday, the moon in Aries is waxing crescent, and we're building up to important energy. Venus, our planet of love and relationship, is in Capricorn, and it's making an easy aspect to Neptune in Pisces. Now, Venus in Capricorn this is where Neptune in Pisces can make us see things in a distorted way, or kind of we're not really in touch with reality. But because it's a sextile, it's like saying, don't make hard work of relationships that are okay. You know how sometimes we do that? We imagine things that aren't there just because he, she did not do, say, whatever when we expected them to. Don't get into that with that Venus sextiling Neptune. Now, the important news of Tuesday, which is building up to Wednesday the 14th and Valentine's Day, and one of the most major days of this year, of this century, Mars enters Aquarius on Tuesday. So what do we make of the energy of Mars in Aquarius? Because Mars is the god of action, energy, of sexuality, of activity, of sport, of war. It's moving into the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is about higher frequency. It's about higher energies. Aquarius is about technology. Aquarius is about rebellion, freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of everything. It's about thinking outside the box and invention and innovative thinking. Mars moving into Aquarius is really working on waking up the whole planet. Not that Mars hasn't been in Aquarius before, because of course it has. But as I said, if we move on to Wednesday, when the moon will be in Aries and then in Taurus, waxing crescent, Mars will conjunct Pluto at 0 degree and a few minutes of the sign of Aquarius. Now, first of all, let's unpack this. First of all, the 0 degree of any sign or the 29 degree of any sign has much more impact and much more power. Huge impact. So let's put that over here for a minute. So they're at the 0 degree. So it's going to be a very powerful meeting between this inner planet known as Mars, that is probably the most powerful of the inner planets because of its connotations of fighting, aggression, war, argumentative, assertion. And as I said, let's not forget sexuality. So I would like to think that because it's Valentine's Day and the 14th, that you could have some powerful experiences with a loved one. In the bedroom, dare I say. In the kitchen. I don't know, on the sofa. But You know, if we decide and choose to intend the energies in a positive direction, you know, my wonderful astrology teacher, Alison Chester Lambert, she's got a new book coming out soon, which I will be talking about, recommending, and interviewing her about. And she's always taught me that you can bend the astrology, you can make it work. We were looking at my chart, at my lengthy lesson I had with her last Friday, which I really needed because I was feeling very down and negative on Friday. And she really helped lift me back up. And one of the things we were talking about was the fact that in my 6th house, now just listen to this. My 6th house, I've got Pluto in Aquarius, transiting Pluto in Aquarius, conjunct my natal Chiron in Aquarius. They're still wide because my Chiron is at 5 degrees, but I'm going to use that baby to heal myself fully over the next few years. The Capricorn bit is what is called an intercepted house. So its energy is lost. So that the beginning of my 6th house has Sagittarius in it. So you've got this Sagittarian fun exuberance. Let's go up into the hilltops and the mountaintops and sing joy from the church spires. And so I have that going into my kind of area of my life to do with my day-to-day routine. Let's have fun and not so good at the serious stuff. And then Capricorn, this inverted or rather intercepted house of Capricorn in my 6th house, squashed out. So, you know, she was going, well, you know, that's why you're finding these, you know, XYZ difficult. That's why this is, you know, difficult. And I went, well, then it's clear what I have to do. I dive into that Capricorn and I work that baby. I make Capricorn work for me. And she went, oh, wow, yes, that's it. And what I meant by I go into the Capricorn is I go into the bit of the chart that is unaspected, that is lost, and go, okay, then, what are all the positives about the sign of Capricorn? Hardworking, stays the course, succeeds, gets to the top of the mountain, you know, can keep calm in difficult situations. And I said, well, there we go. I have to use those qualities, even though I find them difficult to see as qualities, but I turn them into joy and I make them work for me. So that by the time I'm in contact with the Pluto in Aquarius, I can use the Pluto energy not to collapse down a rabbit hole, but to transform myself into the highest version of myself, for the highest good of myself, the highest good of others. I tell you this so you see how you can work the astrology, and so you will see how a session with me would kind of unfold. And I didn't particularly intend to be selling myself in terms of come and have a session with me today. That's not really wasn't my overall remit. I wasn't even thinking about that, but it just seems relevant to say it. So because it's relevant to say it, I'm saying it. Hi, Vieshka, you wish you knew that 15 years ago. I wish I did too. And of course, 15, 16, 18 years ago is when Pluto moved into Capricorn, interestingly. And, you know, the whole of the time Pluto was in Capricorn, in my 6th house, service to others, I was a full-time, long-term carer for my mother. Please don't mishear that. Don't hear it as, oh my God, I've got that. That's going to happen to me. No, 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 no. It doesn't work like that. This was my life and soul contract. And I was actually very happy to do what I was doing, but my God, was it hard work. And at times, because it was Capricorn, I allowed it to be hard work. This is how we work with astrology. This is how we use it in a constructive way like this. So look at this. It's already, I've been talking for 40 minutes and we've still only got to Wednesday, Valentine's Day. We missed out Shrove Tuesday and Pancake Day. Oh, I love pancakes. Oh, I wonder if I could have a pancake this Shrove Tuesday, like that, Tuesday, a true day. So 14th, Valentine's, Mars conjunct Pluto. So let me just highlight the positives that can come out of this, because I want to stay with positives. We may well see, I'll just say quickly, we may well see around this week some not nice side of Mars conjunct Pluto, which would be in the challenged areas of the planet. Let's keep it at that. Let's not mention any places, because I don't want to give that energy the energy, if you see my point. But let's just say we may see some pretty difficult events this week around this Mars-Pluto energy. But there's good news coming later in the week, so let's not get too caught into the Mars conjunct Pluto. Remember, it is a very powerful point in time because we've never experienced it before. So I want you to find out how you can make it work for you in the best possible way. So if things come up to challenge you this week, like your car breaks down, or you have an argument with someone at work, back down, back away, look at it and think, or say to the other person, hey, hang on a minute, what are we doing here? Why are we allowing ourselves to get caught up in these things which maybe are just silly things? The silly small things that really would come under the heading of distorted thinking. So it's really important that we try and turn everything into joy this week. Everything that happens, if there are any difficulties or tragedies in the problem areas of the planet, send love, healing, peace, joy. Intend it. Intend it with all of your being. And, you know, the other thing we can do to make Mars conjunct Pluto positive is be very physically active and think about how we can transform our physical bodies. How do we take care of our health better? And also remember, Uranus, or rather Aquarius, is about freedom. Uranus rules Aquarius. That's what I was thinking about. There, Mars and Pluto are conjunct in Aquarius. Aquarius is about freedom, freedom of speech. We may see some marches or rioting, but, we have to try and intend to leaders, to governmental groups, to listen to what people are saying. Because Pluto in Aquarius is about power to the people. Mars conjunct Pluto elevates that. It supports it. I think it's going to be very fascinating to see what unfolds this week. And I don't want to speculate. I don't want to predict. All I can say is that, thank goodness, Thursday the 15th, the energy is a little bit quieter, but we will still have the Mars conjunct Pluto energy. That really is with us all week. So let's just move on, because Thursday the 15th, we've got the moon in Taurus waxing crescent. And I just want to remind you that from the 10th of February until about the 20th, Chiron, our space object, which is known as the wounded healer, which is about the wounds we carry, the traumas we carry, is conjunct the North Node in Aries, giving us wonderful opportunities for personal healing. We've got that energy around for a big chunk of the month. If you've got a trusted friend to talk to, if you have a counselor, a therapist, a coach, make use of them. So let's see what's happening Friday, because actually we've now got, hot on the heels of Mars, Venus enters Aquarius on Friday the 16th. So the moon is in Taurus and then it moves into Gemini, so it's in the first quarter. And Venus, the planet of love, the planet of relationship, the planet of self-worth, enters Aquarius. So then we build up again. And remember, we haven't had this energy either for hundreds of years. So this again is gentler energy, so that I think the end of the week, or towards the end of the week, we see a softening in rhetoric, in the energy around the world, in the problem areas. I think midweek is a peak. And I think if we can really work hard on intending positive outcomes for any dark and negative situations, then that is energy on our part well spent. So Saturday the 17th, the moon in Gemini, all about communication, waxing gibbous. And Mercury, that rules Gemini, is also in Aquarius and squaring Uranus, that rules Aquarius, in Taurus. So let's see, what does this imply? Because I've got to get to the biggie yet, because Mercury is about communication. It's in Aquarius. It's about freedom of speech. People are, we could see people again coming out onto the streets, wanting their voices to be heard, talking about injustices, because it is squaring Uranus in Taurus. And this is about, Taurus, remember, it is about food, growth. Taurus is about the earth. Taurus is about farming, markets, anything like that. So Mercury squaring Uranus is really kind of drawing our attention to what, I think I mentioned this last week, or I mentioned it in one of my videos. You know, if the farmers continue to rebel, which is what they've been doing in many parts of the world, certainly in Europe, they could starve us out. And that is quite an interesting thought, isn't it? And I wonder whether we're going to see a little bit of a resurgence of this energy of farming communities demanding to be heard, because food, without food, what can I say? We won't be here. So here is, again, a big conjunction with Pluto on Saturday next week. Venus, our planet of love, relationship, our planet of self-worth, our planet of the economy, is conjunct Pluto in Aquarius. Mars has now moved in to the sign of Aquarius by now. So what do we get with Venus conjunct Pluto? Well, this is softer, that's for sure, than Mars conjunct Pluto. Remember, Mars rules Aries. Aries is the sign that rules war. Venus rules Taurus. Taurus rules luxury, money, material things, and self-worth. So Venus conjunct Pluto, I think, is maybe helping us all to have a little bit more faith in ourselves and our abilities, that we can see that perhaps because we have used a lot of the energies of intention this next week to not just collectively, but in our own lives. It's like the Bible says about turn the other cheek. It's all the same stuff. We just rehash it generation after generation in a slightly different way. We rehash this energy. But it made sense. Find a solution. Don't react. Respond. Respond to situations. Think them through. Difficulties that you have with relationships or with work or with finance. Sit down and talk it over with a trusted friend. Get a better kind of understanding or handle on it. Don't allow yourself to get pulled into defensiveness and fear. And maybe this is the note that we need to start thinking about to end on. Not that I want to leave you with fear, but remember, we have to choose whether we stay with fear or with peace and love. Fear energy is easy to get into or fall into when we panic. And it's not always so easy to pull ourselves out of the fear, which usually has us either worrying about what's just happened or what could happen. So what we have to do is always remember, you know what I'm going to say, bring yourselves back to the now, to the present, because as Eckhart Tolle talks about, the point of power is in the present. Venus conjunct Pluto. Pluto is about power, personal empowerment. we can find personal value and empowerment individually and collectively through this conjunction of Venus conjunct Pluto. And if we are all here this time next week, looking back on the week we've just had, and we can say, yeah, I managed to do that. I managed to be the better person. I managed to turn the alchemist's base metal into gold. I managed to be the phoenix and rise from the ashes. If we can say that next Sunday when we meet, then I think we could all give ourselves pretty good pats on the back. So at this point, I'm going to just have a quick glance down at your chat and just see, hi, Janice. So your late husband's birthday was the 14th. That must be a very poignant memory for you. And thank you, Simi. I'll do my best. I'll do my best. I just tell you this quickly because I always overshare. But I have had an interesting week. It's been a very busy week, and too busy and too much and too tiring. And one of the things that I had to do this week was remotely attend the funeral of the friend I told you about who passed away. And I want to give her a kind of shout out, a public shout out, because my friend Sally, whom I'd known since I was 21, was an amazing, incredible lady. And we were the same age. She was 68 too. She died of very rapid, rampant cancer. And what was so interesting is the thing that I remember most about, that I want to tell you about, is we were both in Hong Kong together. She used to work for an airline. It was an airline called British Caledonian, which doesn't exist anymore. It got taken over by British Airways. And some of the girls that worked for BCAL went on to become British Airways stewardesses. And, my friend Sally and I in Hong Kong went to visit a palmist. And he told us both that we would live to the ripe old age of 89. And I just can see in my mind's eye my friend Sally standing in front of me now saying, well, he got that wrong, didn't he? And it's the kind of thing she would have said. And it cracks me up because she would have done, and we would have said, well, how much did that cost us to be told something that was a load of lies? It was just one of those things, but it stayed with me. But, I'm feeling her energy and I'm feeling her joy. All I'm seeing is a very happy memory of her. I had some of the most amazing times with her. I had fabulous times with her here in Joya, the island of Gozo. And we were partners in crime, and we got up to some very naughty things when we were young women. And thank you for the condolences to those of you that are honoring it. But, these remote funerals online are very strange. And I had no idea it would affect me in the way it did. And I actually found myself sobbing my way through it, which was probably a good thing. And it was so many things, that seeing the portrait of her that was on an easel, seeing the back of the head of her partner sitting in the front row, things like that that just absolutely choked me up. And, you know, it's always sobering when we have to face these things, and it's it's all it's all part of our soul path. And, you know, because I can feel her joy and I can feel her presence and remember the fun times, it makes it easier. But I didn't know losing her would be as hard as it is. Now, I'm not going to go on about it because I just wanted to give a shout out to her because Sally Lewis, you were the best of friends. And I loved you to bits and still love you to bits. And she had a very successful pie making company in the Newmarket, Cambridge area. And I don't know whether it was called Sally's Pies, I can't remember. But she made pies of all descriptions and they were yummy. And she was a very good cook. And she was just a lovely lady. She had her faults like all of us, but don't we all? And no, and you're right, Mykonos. You have to look at the totality of her life and not just the ending. And we had joy when we were together. We had our difficulties as well, but you know, there are too many moments to mention, and I'm not going to go on about it anymore. But let's end on the note of joy, because that is what I came in with. And Andy, thank you so much for your support and for giving permission to show your son's picture to the world. So thank you so much for joining me, everybody. I will be back next Sunday. My full moon video in Virgo will probably be out. I'm hoping it might be out by next weekend. I've got to record it. I'm going to record it tomorrow. And remember that Uranus, the next in the Outer Planet series, is going to be out midnight next Saturday night, Sunday night. Depends where you are on the world, but that's where it will be coming out. Remember to do all those lovely things, like, comment, subscribe, share. Thank you for everybody who has recently subscribed to me. Thank you to all of you for being here tonight. I just, oh gosh, I tell you, you lot, I always say, are friggin' awesome. And I would thank you. I will have a great evening. I think a glass of wine, and blessings to you all. You know, I can never say goodbye. And I'll be doing this at my funeral, won't I? I'll be going, bye. No, I'm still here. Bye. But I don't plan that for quite a few years yet. So I'm planning on sticking around. So on that note, I'm going to end stream and then do my inane grin, and I will see you next week. And please all have an awesome week. Happy Valentine's, happy Ash Wednesday if you celebrate, happy Shrove Tuesday if you celebrate, happy everything, happy life, happy joy. Bye for now. Bye.